Tetairoa McMillan, the projected #1 receiver for next year's draft heading into this year's college season. Coming in at 6'5", 212, he's hard to miss on the field. He put up solid numbers as a sophomore at Arizona. He had an 85.5 offensive grade per PFF, the 14th highest for a wide receiver. He put up 2.72 yards per route run, over 1,200 receiving yards, and 10 touchdowns. He also had a 2.4 drop percentage, 12 missed tackles forced, and 15.5 yards per reception. He made a lot of plays for the Wildcats in the intermediate areas and was a game changer in the red zone. The question is he a future star or is he just the headliner of a weak receiver class? The 2024 draft featured an absurdly stacked group, so how does McMillan compare to the likes of Harrison, Neighbors, Thomas, and Odunze? Well, we're going to look at his film today and come to a conclusion. As a receiver, he fits the Drake London / Michael Pittman mold. He's got a big frame with a solid build and still has average to plus athleticism. These kinds of receivers excel at the catch point as they're able to box out defensive backs and use their long arms to bring in passes. Usually, I'm personally a bigger fan of receivers that succeed by getting open with quick releases and crafty route running. Even if they come in smaller packages, they have more success against physical and skilled defensive backs in the NFL. Not to say there's no value in big frame receivers, but it's something I would consider when picking at the top of the first round. Now to the McMillan film, the first thing that flies off the screen is his hands and ability to high point passes in traffic. His catch radius creates throwing windows for his QB that most other receivers can't provide. He runs an out route here against Travis Hunter, who's in off coverage. The route isn't the best. He doesn't sell it inside and rounds it out at the top. He looks like a truck making a left turn, but once he finishes the cut, he has a strong burst to the sideline. Hunter's able to easily shift his hips outside, keeps himself in position, and looks to jump the pass. The quarterback throws it up to the top shelf, eliminating Hunter from the play. McMillan goes up and snatches it and gets his feet in bounds. This part of his game allows him to be a safety valve for his quarterback. Here he runs an underneath slant, again lined up against Travis Hunter. Not much finesse in this route. McMillan is forced to just use his pure strength versus an elite athlete like Hunter. He's still able to get across the field, uses his frame to box out the corner. The QB faces an unmarked blitzer and just flicks it towards McMillan, who's able to stretch out his arms and bring this pass in. Not a big play, but a 2-yard gain is better than a sack, and you see that raw physical talent that McMillan possesses. So how does this look versus weaker competition? Here's a deep in route versus UCLA. Again, McMillan doesn't do much to sell this route. Gets up to the corner and uses his length to establish leverage. Then he carries him across the field, boxing him out. Once the pass comes in, he catches it in front of his body, preventing the DB from having a chance. Great play strength and catching technique. He's also a monster in the red zone. In tight spaces, he's able to use his play strength to muscle for position and then extend his arms to moss defenders. If you leave him one-on-one, even against the better corners, he will make you pay. He does just that here as he makes this insane one-handed top shelf catch. He can also make these tough catches on the run when he's not facing the QB. He displays this on this fake screen fade ball. The route concept fools the defense and gives him immediate leverage to the outside. McMillan uses great late hands and is able to bring this one down even with the defender's arm in his face. Excellent concentration and hands. So he's difficult to cover one-on-one, but he's also a tough receiver who can go over the middle and take shots. Against his cover 2 look from Colorado, McMillan runs a seam route, which puts him in a vulnerable spot as he knows he's going to have to take a hit. Still, he goes up, high points the ball, displays his excellent catch radius, absorbs the contact, and gets right back up. Let's get a couple more clips in here. One thing that shouldn't be underrated about his game is his ball tracking. He's quick to find the ball down the field and is able to adjust much faster than most defensive backs. This is a very long pass, but as soon as the ball leaves the QB's hands, McMillan knows exactly where to go and makes a spectacular grab. Through most of his film, you won't see a lot of shake and bake, but there are some rare flashes of route running skill. On this fade ball, he uses tempo and a nice trigger step inside to convince the corner he's breaking before exploding upfield. If he develops this part of his game, he could become more of a Mike Evans type prospect who can completely take over matchups. So overall, Tetairoa McMillan is a receiver prospect who should be on everyone's radar. He's a 6'5" target with plus athleticism. He's got great play strength and length and is elite at the catch point. He's got an outstanding catch radius and consistently catches in front of his body and high points passes. He's a tough competitor and succeeded against the top cornerbacks in college football. As a bigger guy, he's not particularly shifty and he needs to get better at selling his routes. He should also look to vary his releases more. His physical style allows cornerbacks to stay in his pocket, which limits his yards after the catch. With his physical traits, he's likely a day one prospect. He lacks the big playability and complete game to compete with the top guys from last year's class, but he's still a very impressive prospect. I wouldn't pick him to be the alpha receiver in my team, but I think he can be a quality wide receiver 2 in the league. So those are my thoughts at this point on McMillan. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'm out.